Hi, we are the Yupkeep. I'm Waffles together with
Spirit.
And what are we doing today, Spirit?
We're going to be reviewing some Lorcana cards of the new set.
Lorcana cards?
Lorcana, I'm so excited.
Alright, and are we doing a new set today?
Yeah, first mistake from the get-go, we are definitely the professional-nonprofessionals.
Non-professionals, baby. And so today we're reviewing Reign of Jafar. We're going to go through the Legendaries first. Then we're going to go through the Super Rares. And then some honorable mention from Rares, because obviously not all of them are great. And if there's any uncommons, I know there's a couple uncommons I can think of that I want to talk about.
Yep.
Spirit, are there any you want to think about?
Yep, there are tons I want to talk about. And Waffles and I have been going back and forth about this set, and we're ready to let you all know what we think.
Alright, so should we get started?
Yep, let's click the Goofster from the get-go.
Alright, Goofy it is. Alright, Goofy is a 4-drop Inkable, 3/4. And he has taps for 2 lore, and he says plenty to go around. At the end of your turn, you remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters. Ready each character you remove damage from this way. First of all, before we start, actually, I'm gonna be totally honest. The Legendaries this set are not my cup of tea. However, Goofy's one of the better ones among them, I would say. There's another one that we both love, I think, Spirit.
Yeah, you kind of spoiled the twist. It's like, yeah, Waffles and I have been discussing how the Legendaries this set we're not wowed by at all. It's everything under Legendaries. And before those had asked, Legendaries are the ones with the gold little symbol at the bottom of the card.
And then Super Rares are the silver bottom, and then Rares are the amber triangles. Now, this card I think has potential because obviously in amber it likes to heal. I think in a steel amber list you can untap someone, maybe Spirit?
Like a bolt?
A bolt, yes. A doggo. And when bolt untaps, as we know, you gain lore for each untapped character?
Yeah, each untapped.
And Goofy can untap all the ones that were damaged, so that works pretty well. It's kind of like a new Simba that untaps stuff, but it heals.
Yeah, but who doesn't like Goofy? Goofy's just great.
And look at that amount of pancakes. Wow, it took me like 3 minutes to start talking about food. But yeah, I like this card as well. I think it's one of the better Legendaries this set. I think it has potential, and it does what everyone wants to do, which is heal, and I feel like readying characters is just a bonus.
I also love how he's just stepping right out of the card.
Yeah, Spirit is the artist, in case you were wondering. I am not. I just noticed how his foot is outside the frame. Took me a while.
I can't even make a stand out of the crowd joke right now because it's not a spoiler. It's been confirmed. Goofy movie cards are coming in Fabled.
Oh, I'm excited.
Cheeto
was out.
Cheeto was out.
All right, should we go ahead and move to the next card?
Sure.
All right, let's see here. So we will exit out of Goofster. We'll talk about the main man, Chief Bago. Why don't you read his Chief Bago, Spirit?
What Chief Bago does is sending back up. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters with bodyguard is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character card with 5 costs or less, you may play that character for free, otherwise put it on top of your deck.
And it's a 6-drop Inkable 5/5 that taps for 1. However, I think this card has potential. It obviously would have to be in a bodyguard deck because only your bodyguards will trigger this ability. However, I feel like the better bodyguards that are printed, the better this will be. It's kind of tough. Like we've been wanting to make Little John work for a while, haven't we, Spirit?
Yeah, I've been since day one. I thought about making a bodyguard deck, but I just don't get me wrong. Love the card, but I don't see it being like a high chase card.
Now, even Mufasa right now is a rare pick to play sometimes, and this is just the worst Mufasa. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Bago, you have to commit to the bodyguard.
100%, and they have to be under 5, otherwise it doesn't trigger. So we're gonna rate this one on an of okay.
Just an
All right, let's go ahead and move to the next card. Let's see. Well, that's the second Goofy, but we'll skip to Pinocchio because we already read Goofy. Pinocchio is a 4-drop 0/4, taps for 2, has evasive, and has got to keep real quiet. Once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. Uh, you want to start us off, Spirit? Because I'm just disappointed.
I just don't understand why this is a legendary card. Haven't seen it in practice, but I just, I mean, this comes off more as like a rare to me.
Well, I mean, think about it. Genie, Wish Fulfilled, same cost, unequal, sure, but it's a 2/4, taps for 2 and it's evasive, but it draws you a card as soon as it enters. This will not see play when Genie is around. And even if you do trigger this, it's only once per turn. It's not like you can keep untapping it and drawing cards. I, Genie or Rabbit is just, or Rablin, as we call him, Merlin Rabbit, is just better.
Is it only legendary because it's inkable? Because that's Amethyst's downfall, is a lot of good cards are not inkable.
That's true. A lot of the best cards in Amethyst are uninkable. I just don't think this is the best card though. It's like it's just not good.
No, I mean, and also shout out to a Mission Impossible scene, I guess,
Mhm.
but it's I gotta pass on this
I
one.
am underwhelmed. All right, next card. Let's see what we got here. We got Bambi. Oh boy, another one I'm underwhelmed by. So, you want to
Another
read this one?
Amethyst save.
And an uninkable one at that. All right, Spirit, read us this one.
All right, it's 3 uninkable, 1/1, taps for 3, and when you play this character, gain 1 lore. When an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand.
So you're gonna get the one lore guaranteed, which a goat could do for one more and is uninkable. And I'm sorry, and goat's inkable. And then if your character plays a card, you don't get a quest for 3. It's not a May ability; it has to go to your hand. And if they play a 3-drop Sisu, it doesn't bounce before it's banished. They play a Tinkerbell; it's not bounce before it's banished. I mean, if you're gonna quest for 3 with this thing, I think you're lucky.
And also for those with keen ears, yes, we're recording this in a new location, and
We forgot our microphone.
no, it was my dumbass. I forgot it.
So we are recording this on the original input capture device on the computer. So hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, but going back to Bambi, uh, I don't see this being used in the meta whatsoever. I could be absolutely wrong. Maybe someone can play Maleficent stuff. So
I
they'll
mean, why would you not just play the White Rose? Same cost, inkable. It's a 3/3. Yes, it only quests for 1, but it doesn't go back to your hand when someone plays a character.
No, I agree. And again, why is this a legendary?
Yeah, just I don't get the legendaries this set. Besides a few, we'll get to that. We'll get to the next one we like in a bit.
You bet we'll get there.
All right, let's go ahead and go to the next card. Alrighty. We will go to. Oh, that's a Pinocchio. That's unavailable. That's weird, right? Pinocchio. Let's go to Rhea. Alrighty. Rhea is a 6-drop inkable, 5/5. Taps for 2. And whenever this character quests, you may pay 2 ink to ready another chosen character. This one I feel like has potential. It just costs a lot to get started. So it's not. You have to commit to playing a 6-drop that does nothing when it enters, could die before you're able to quest, or get banished before you're able to quest, and then hope to God that you have something that's worth untapping. Like, I think it's okay. It's not the worst of them, like Bambi or Pinocchio, but not great in my opinion. How about you, Spirit?
This is an interesting one to me because it's like, while it's inkable, has a good body, taps for a great amount. It's just, how to put it? When we first saw You Came Back, it's an action that readies a character, or Ink Geyser, we really thought it was going to affect the meta, and they actually didn't really affect the meta much. I wonder if this is a card people are like, oh, it's going to really affect the meta, but it's not.
Yeah, I feel like this has more potential than some of the others we've seen so far. It's just, I don't think it, I don't think it's powerful enough. We'll see. Maybe after rotation could be better. So.
Yeah, it all depends how rotation, for those that don't know about rotation. As soon as set 9 comes out, the first 4 sets are going to be rotated out if you're playing the core, but they do have a new format called Infinity, so where you can still play everything you want.
Alrighty, should we go to the next card?
Indeed.
Alrighty. Wow, I say alrighty a lot. Sorry, fellas. Everyone out there.
Vocabulary level
Girls
up.
and guys, everybody. Alright, let's go to Rapunzel. I like Rapunzel as a character. Let's see if we like the card. You want to read us this one, Spirit?
Sure. Rapunzel, evasive, another legendary. That's 5/5. Has evasive, taps for 2, and wrapped up. Whenever this character quests, it shows an opposing character can't quest during their next turn. Now, what I like about this card is it's kind of like that one song, Heffalumps and
Woozles, yeah.
Wuzzles or whatever it is, where they can't quest, which is really nice, and it can help Emerald buy time, which is Emerald's shtick most of the time.
I mean, once the sets rotate out, I could see this being better because why not pay one more ink, right? For a John Silver, he's a 5/5. Not only does he make them not quest, he makes them attack, gains them reckless, and when he enters and when he quests. This one doesn't do it when she enters. So that's a big downside for me. She has to live in a world of brawls, in a world of bounces and dragonfires and all kinds of removal. Like, I think once Brawl rotates, maybe once John Silver rotates, she'll have a place, but right now, a 2/5 in a red meta or ruby meta is tough.
And the weird thing is, we'll show them when it comes. I prefer this artwork over its enchanted. Now, I don't think it's a terrible card, but I think it's just an okay card. But do I think it should be a legendary?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Should we move on to the next one?
Why not? Sorry, we're having fun ourselves over here. We're just being goofy. Alright, we have a Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is a 2-drop inkable 1/1. She has evasive, so that's something. Taps for 1, and whenever you play a character with 5 or more power, you may exert them to gain 2 lore. I think this has potential in like a high cost or high power deck with like Maximus and other things. There's a legendary coming up that will easily trigger this, the one we're excited about.
Oh yeah.
Probably just spoiled it. But
it's blue, isn't it?
And I just don't know if the high power deck has enough support. This definitely adds to it. It's nice that it's evasive. But again, it dies to a whole host of things, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't play a card. But I do like cards that have immediate impact. This you have to play, and then like you're not going to play a high cost character or high power character for another 3 turns. Like this feels like you want to play this on turn 4, and then turn 5 go into a big power character.
Agreed. And I mean, I definitely think maybe this will shift what Ruby does after rotation with what it wants. But I will say this though, there is one thing that bothers me about this card like no other. And do you know what that is, Waffles?
Her foot coming out of the frame?
No, it's whose hair is she pulling? Is it Rapunzel? It looks like
It
Rapunzel.
kind of looks like Rapunzel's hair, but it's Tinkerbell, so maybe Wendy's? I don't know.
But Wendy doesn't have that color hair. It's
you know
gold.
what? I don't know then.
Whose hair? Whose hair? Tinkerbell, who are you picking on? Alright, should we move on to the next one?
You know what? Sure. Let's go ahead. Alright, so we saw Tink. We have Lilo. And didn't we learn that this artwork is her stomping on someone's sandcastle?
Yeah, someone pointed out that there's a Sapphire Nani card where Lilo is stomping on her model of the palace. I thought it was really cute for those keen eyes. We'll pull that up later just to show. But, so, Waffles, what do you think of this one?
Well, should we read it first?
Oh, reading does tell us what the card does.
Alright, so it's a 5-drop inkable 4/4, taps for 2. During your turn, if you played 3 or more actions this turn, you may play this character for free. And when you play this character, ready chosen character, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. Spirit, why don't you give me your opinion first, and then I'll see if I agree.
I want this to work with a Robin Hood deck. It's like the Ruby Robin Hood deck whenever he quests and shenanigans go on. It's just one of those favorites of mine and Waffles to see like just actions go off because it's such a niche rogue type of deck that you don't really see. But seeing this, I feel like they're trying to, hey, try actions. It's like, we're trying.
Yeah, I've been trying to make Ruby Emerald actions work for a very long time. I forget what set it was, but you can ask Spirit. I've had one for a very long time. I think since Robin Hood came out, I've been trying to make it work. And then
Shimmering Skies.
And then Owl Island came out, where if you play 2 or more actions, you gain 3 lore from the location. And then this one, you can play her for free, but 3 actions is asking a lot. You have to use the majority of your hand to play her. The dream is to have 2 or more, play 3 actions, put them all into play, but it's going to happen like 1 out of 1,000 times, 1 out of 1,000,000. You know, it's so unreliable. I want this to be good, and free stuff is always nice, but I don't think this is where it's at.
No, I don't think so either. Well, it's humorous. If it was 2 or more actions, it would be better, but
Mm-hmm.
3,
2 would be fine. 2 would actually be very good. 3 is asking a lot. Like, basically, you're going to have to go, like, improvise into... Basically, you want all your actions that cantrip, which cantrip means you draw another card. Like, improvise, strike a good match, hufflepuffs and woozles, all the ones that draw you cards. You can keep drawing into actions. So if you can chain them together like that, yes. But then, by then, if you play all those actions, then you already have, like, 5 ink to just play her.
yeah, and there's also that one card, Return of Hercules or whatever, where you can play a card for free. So what's the point, or play a character for free? So what's the point of having to play 3 actions if there's already an action that could possibly put
Well,
her in?
because your opponent gets to put something into play as well, which can be a problem. She just enters herself, but I think Return to Hercules shenanigans are more even. I think they're more promising than this. I really hate to be down on the Legendaries this set. We normally love Lorcana. We love Lorcana. Not normally. We love it. But we're more excited about the super rares and the rares. So just wait. We'll get excited. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's go to the next one. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we got Stitch. Experiment 626. Alright,
You
Spirit.
can't have a Lilo without a Stitch.
That's true, Spirit. Why don't you read this one to us?
All right, so this one is 3 uninkable, 3/3 Stitch Experiment 626. So naughty, and it also taps for 2. Very naughty. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell face down and exerted. And stealth mode, at the start of your at the start of your turn, if this character is in your discard, you may choose and discard a card with inkable to play this character for free, and he enters play exerted. Now, Waffles and I have been going back and forth about this card, not because we disagree, it's because it's more of a enigma, would you say, to us?
I just don't get why you have to ink your like even if this didn't ink your opponent, I mean, yes, it's a good card, but like the fact that you're ramping your opponent every time you put it into play is not good. And if it had to be inked, like if you have to help your opponent ramp, it shouldn't be like every single time. It should be like the times that it's in your discard, or maybe it should be inkable and then you can then ramp your opponent. The fact that this is uninkable, you ramp your opponent, and also you have to discard a card to bring it back, and it enters play exerted, so it could be attacked and killed, so you have to bring it back again and ramp them again. Just this card is naughty. I don't like it, and I think it's real bad.
For me, I was kind of curious because in Arcasius Island, they introduced with puppies with Amber Sapphire some dealing with your inkwell shenanigans where you could look in it, and I feel like they really missed the it just really missed the goal on this one. Kind of like, why not it goes into your inkwell and then you can discard
Or
it.
why not ramp you and your opponent?
Yeah, but I mean, like, why doesn't, like, if it is banished, make it go to your inkwell, and if you want to resummon it at the start of your turn, discard an inkable card, and then it'll come out of your inkwell. It feels like that's more so naughty than...
Yeah, I do want to point out one rules thing is that if you're playing an Emerald and Sapphire and you have the Inkcaster Staff, which lets you ink any card, even if it doesn't have the inkable symbol, you can technically discard any card to bring this back from the discard, even if it doesn't have the inkable symbol, if you have the Inkcaster Staff in play. So that's an interesting rules question, but that definitely works. And but yeah, I don't like this card. How about you, Spirit?
No, and again, it something about the legendaries in this set has Waffles and I just like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Did you mess up?
I think they played it a little safe here. But yeah, we can go ahead and go to the next one. There should be one more Sapphire one. Oh yeah, my boy, Radigan. All right, in case
Your
anyone's wondering,
enthusiasm is
no, well,
overflowing.
no, just because the Stitch card I'm so down about it. But no, the Radigan is my boy because two things. One is because before this game ever came out, we played Ravensburger's Villainous, and I love his deck and board and everything. And also, when we went to Disney last time, I decided to watch this movie for the first time because I play him in Lorcana. I wanted to know who he was. I was playing Hiram and Sapphire, wanted to know who he was, and I watched the movie and I quite liked Radigan. But this one is an 8-drop, inkable, 6/7, taps for 4 lore, has ward, important there, and then at the end of your turn, if you didn't put any cards in inkwell this turn, banish this character. I think the ward really helps it, so they can't just remove it right off the bat. You probably will be able to quest with it unless someone be prepared or tremaines you. And the fact that it has 4 lore means it's a decent lucky dime target. And I don't, if you don't ink banishing it this turn, you banish it. I feel like that's okay. I feel like that's not a huge downside.
Now, I will say this: love the artwork. I think it's just probably out of all the legendaries from not enchanted, it's just the legendaries. I think this is probably the best artwork for the legendaries. Uh, but for Sapphire, inking is not really a problem. Inking is Sapphire stick, though. Uh, it's good that it's inkable, but would you say it's like the strongest legendary, I guess, so far for this set, or nah?
I say it's probably better than Goofy, but we're gonna come up on the best one soon.
Yeah, always love seeing Radigan come on in. They don't,
And I feel like maybe this is like to be a replacement for the 8-drop Tamatoa going forward for like a big bomb in Sapphire decks. Like once rotation happens, Tamatoa will be gone, and this having War does help it because as long as you have another character, you can't be tremained, and if you get beat prepared, I mean that's what it is.
yeah, it's not a terrible card. Uh, it's definitely interesting. I wonder how it will be in practice, but this is one of those things I just kind of want to wait and see. But a 6/7 is nothing to scoff at. It's definitely a big booty, taps for 4, and the ward is really, really nice. If it didn't have
If it didn't
ward,
have Ward, I think it'd be terrible.
yeah, agreed. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All
I know
right,
I didn't say much, but yep, it's Radigan.
I'm a little bit bigger fan of this one than Spirit is, but I think I'll wait as well. But I think this has potential. So
The last thing I'll say about Radigan is every card that Lorcana has released with Radigan, it has style.
that's
It
true.
really
That's
does.
true. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Steel, the last color of Legendaries. Ah, and Spirit. I think you should talk about this one.
All right, so everyone should know I am not a fan of the movie, but I am a fan of this card. Namari, 5 Inkable, 0/5, Single Minded Rival, Strategic Edge. When you play this character and at the start of your turn, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. Also taps for 2, which is very nice. And then Extreme Focus. This character gains +1 strength for each card in your discard. Now, I know there are some people that don't like, we call it looting. Some games, it's just like an overall term for when you draw a card and discard a card. I like looting in Lorcana. I like the little Simbas, Mulans, etc. So helps you filter. But this card, I absolutely see potential in. How about you?
In practice, we've been practicing a little bit with some of these new cards, and the looting matters more than you think. And if you have a couple of them, your card selection goes way up. And one thing I'll say about this card, it is a location killer. I've never played this without it being a 7 power, 8 power lady. And the decks I'm playing it in, and I'm also playing like the Mulan that loots, the Simba that loots, tons of actions that draw cards, like so like I think this is gonna be a monster. Like I've had this as a 26/5 and just I destroyed McDuck Manor. I blew up the library. Like this you don't understand like how easy it is for this girl to kill locations. She just stomps on them all over. Spirit, what do you think about it? Anything else to add to this one?
I think Lilo has competition when it comes to stomping on locations because it's just like, yeah, for cards we think that might impact the meta, we definitely think this legendary, and out of all the legendaries, this actually does feel like a legendary to us.
Yes, and we're not going to share it yet, but we're building a deck that we may share at some point, and this is a key player, and we love it when it. I mean, it goes off all the time, but it's amazing when it does as well.
Yeah, so for a movie that I'm not psyched about and a character that I didn't really give a crap about, they have a nice card.
Yeah, I think we're excited about this one. We're very high on this one, and hopefully we're not wrong. We'll let you know if we are, though. All right, should we go on to one of the worst legendaries of this set?
I think we should. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up.
Well, you kind of got to move your hands, sir. I can't reach the
We're
computer.
animating live.
Yeah, we're that good. That We're back to the Stone Age. Alright, so this is a 10 drop uninkable. Oh my! 10/10. Taps for 5, bodyguard, and the biggest star ever. When this character is banished, deal 5 damage to each opposing character. Dream on. This is never coming into play. Like, you could hope and wish that you hit it off Mufasa. You can hope and wish that you can trigger the little tiny Mickey, the one drop where you banish something, and you get to put this in play for free. No one's going to leave that open to you. Mufasa will hit this 1 out of a million
Wait,
times.
does Vago hit this one? I'm sorry.
No, he only hits 5 or less.
5 or less, okay.
So this card, if it were inkable, I can maybe see playing 1 or 2. The fact that it's uninkable to me means that I don't think it'll ever see the light of day. I'm sorry. The ability is amazing, where you can deal 5 to each character. It's like a board wipe. Bodyguards obviously means they have to swing at him. Taps for 5. All that stuff's great. The fact that he's 10 and uninkable means he sucks. No offense. And he can't become cheaper in any way. Like some other 10 drops that we've seen.
I think the problem that you brought up with this card specifically, it's like, look, Lorcana wanted to make a big Mickey Mouse, you succeeded. However, the problem I see with this card is you have to build your deck around it. When you have cards that you don't when they work synergistically or synergy, that when they bounce off each other is what I'm trying to say. It makes your deck stronger. When you have to build your deck around a single card, it's called a Tron, right?
I'm not sure what it's called, but I think the biggest problem this card has is that it's uninkable. If it were inkable, at least you could ink it.
Yeah, and I really don't want to build a deck where I have to focus on a single card being my strongest, while I would like just my entire deck to be strong instead of just one card.
No, I agree. You want multiple cards to really connect and really play off each other. And yes, there are some, like we said, Mufasa can put this into play. The little Mickey can put this into play. But the chances of that happening, and if you really want to be consistent with hitting this, you would need more than 1 or 2 copies. You probably want to play 3 or 4. But can you really justify playing 3 or 4 copies of a 10 drop that's uninkable? Like, I don't think so.
No, and I mean, one can argue it's like, well, look at Chernobog. He is 9 uninkable and stuff. But it's like, but
yes,
the way Chernobog works is with your discard. There's nothing making this card cheaper.
Chernobog can cost 1 or 2 in that deck. This always costs 10. That's the difference.
Yeah, you have to find ways to cheat it in, and in Lorcana, building up your ink to 10, that's, if you really think about it, if you're not playing Sapphire, that's 10 turns if you're hitting ink every turn. Mm-hmm. And by the time that is, the game is already kind of nearing its end.
Yeah, no, I think this is the lowest legendary of the set. Worse than even Pinocchio and Bambi.
Yeah, Bambi's got an edge on Mickey.
Alright, well, you want to move to the super rares that we're more excited about?
Yeah.
Alright, so give us a second. I gotta finagle these filters here.
Super rare!
Super rare! Alright. So, yes. Bruno Magical. We don't talk about Bruno.
It's our boy.
In case you didn't know, we like that card. We don't talk about Bruno. And I'm still upset that the sister knew he was in the walls all these years, sorry, spoiler alert, and didn't say anything.
Oh, she's the real villain of the movie.
Big time. You want to go ahead and read us this card?
Yes. Alright, Bruno Magical. Singing Seer. Shift 5, 7 uninkable, 3, 7. So he's got a pretty good booty, and 3, he can avoid Brawl, which is pretty good. And whenever this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each character you have in play. Now, drawing multiple cards is pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's obvious at this point that once rotation happens, Steel Song is kind of, unless they reprint the major characters, it's kind of dead in the water. I think they're making Singer into Amethyst Amber's identity, which I'm not against. And I think that this card has real potential because basically in an Amber Amethyst deck, even if you didn't go Singer, if you had a shift target for him and you went wide with a whole bunch of cheap creatures and then you sang like 1 or 2 songs, you're drawing a shit ton of cards, and if they board wipe you, well, your hand's full. I think that this card has real potential. I think it probably, if you want to go full magical deck, it may not be enough. But I think if there's a decent shiftable Bruno, like a small Bruno to play, this definitely has potential in a go wide strategy just to draw some cards. However, I really want the magical. I didn't like the movie very much, but I want the magical singing deck to work because I'm a fan.
And also, they've been introducing new singers. We got Will Show, like
Mhm.
example Clawhauser. So, uh, they have introduced new singer cards, which is really nice. And like even the new Tiana that in this one. So it's nice, even if you're not going to magical deck, it's nice to see that they're continuing having the singer ability. Uh, but I agree with you. I think they're trying to shift Amber Amethyst into the new singing deck, and
Mhm.
we may see Amber Steel just kind of phase out.
Amber Steel may go like the more aggro route, like the kind of the creature route, and I really think they're making this into the singer build. So I'm excited to see what happens. I think this card has potential though. So
Yeah, and I just love the artwork. It looks like he's just like,
he's having the best time ever. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next one. Oh, Tramp. I like this one. All right, so this is a 6-drop Inkable. It shifts for 4, 2/8. So big booty, taps for 2, and play it cool. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. I think this would be better if it's just said whenever one of your characters is banished, you draw a card, because obviously when you attack in and your card gets banished, you don't draw anything. And during your opponent's turn, they could just target this one and banish this one, which it looks like he does trigger himself, so you at least get one card. But ideally, you'd want them to be challenging and banishing your other characters. So you draw multiple. Maybe you have some bodyguards protecting him potentially. But drawing cards in Lemon Lime is good to me. I like it.
yeah, and definitely supporting the Churner Dog deck, and also 10 out of 10 because dogs with bandanas are always stylish. 10 out of 10, he's wearing a bandana.
I love bandanas on my
But
puppies.
uh, but in all seriousness, in Trinidad, I guess you wouldn't want to be challenging. You would want your opponent to be challenging you because your main job is to quest
No, I agree.
aggressively.
I just said it would be better if it was on both turns. Yes, your opponent's going to be challenging you, and that works because it's on your opponent's turn. I just think if you don't protect him, they're going to challenge him first. So you get one card instead of multiple.
No, I agree. I'm just saying. I think this card is really emphasizing.
Mhm.
I don't know if in development it was just whenever one of your characters was banished and kind of got out of control. But I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing.
Mhm.
But uh Amber Emerald has always needed a lot of card draw because you kind of burn out of your hand pretty
Mhm.
quickly. So it's nice to see that there's a nice draw engine to help you
And
out.
in Lemon Lime right now, you're already playing tramps that you already play, so having a shift another shift is always good. And I think, and if you this is on the board and you have like 4 other characters and someone be prepared, that's nice because you draw 5 cards, you draw a couple cards. So
All the cards.
I like this one. I'm high on this one. I just think it could have been better, but that's okay. I still like it.
But we can both agree so far the legendaries are not
The
the
super
super
rares
rares are better than
are better.
legendaries.
This tramp is better than Pinocchio. It's better than Mickey. It's better than Bambi. All of them except Namari and Goofy. I think maybe it's better than Goofy. This might be better than Goofy.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay, sorry, I got real excited. All right, Wreck It Ralph. Oh, it changed the artwork, but that's okay. You want to read this one?
Yeah, spoiler, it's an enchanted.
Sorry.
It's a 7 uninkable, 7/5, shift 5, back on track, taps for 1. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may return a racer character card with cost 6 or less from your discard to your hand. If you do, gain 1 lore. We've been talking about how they've been building up their racer uh, synergy. I think racers have potential maybe after what would you say, rotation? Because it looks like racers are supposed to be aggressive, swinging at the board, and then reviving them pretty quickly and getting benefits for your racer, kind of just going to the discard and coming back. What do you
Yeah,
think?
racers are awkward because you want to be aggressive, but a lot of them want to be on locations. So you have to take turns off instead of playing characters to play locations, and then you have to move them to locations to activate their abilities, which costs ink unless you're playing with the Red Raceway. So it's kind of an awkward deck from that standpoint. I do like the racers in general. I like the speedways, the amber one that draws you 3 cards, and the red one that shoots them off to another location. I think they're great. I think this card's not bad. And you have a new shiftable target and Ruby from the new set that we'll get to eventually. I just don't think racers have what it takes yet, unfortunately.
I think they'll have what it takes after rotation. Maybe we'll see, especially. what set 9 has in store. I don't hate what they're doing, but I don't think it's the strongest. Kind of like Amber Sapphire right now, where I don't think it's the strongest like puppies.
But puppies will get there. Don't you worry.
Puppies will get there.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. Oh, speaking of puppies. Oh, another enchanted. My bad. Um,
We're just gonna show all the
yeah.
changes.
Apparently, it just did automatically. I think this artwork's cute, but it's a 6-drop inkable, 4/6. It's Perdita, shift 4, taps for 2, and quick everyone hide. When you play this character, you may put all puppy character cards from your discard into your inkwell face down and exerted. I think she's great in a puppy deck only, not in any Amber Sapphire deck. Strictly in puppies, and because of that, since puppies are not powerful enough yet, I don't think this is going to see play. But once they print more puppies that are powerful, you bet you'll see play.
I still think she's way more powerful than Stitch.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, pretty far.
But I love the artwork, and I want to see puppy. I guess puppy power joke here.
Puppy power.
But it's one of those. I'm glad to see puppy support, and like Waffles said, the more they have been printing more and more little puppies with better abilities instead of just the basic default tail wagger. So I'm really hoping to see puppies see their victory in the day.
See, the puppy thing for me is difficult because I obviously love dogs, in case you don't know that about me. But the thing about this puppy build is that all the adults have the powerful abilities. The Perditas, the Pongos, the Thunderbolt. All of them have the powerful abilities. Yes, there are some puppies that have power. Like, for example, the one that says whenever a puppy dies, it goes to your inkwell. Lucky, for example, and Amber or Sapphire, both those do good things. They look for more puppies. However, I feel like you want a 1-to-2 ratio. You want 2 parts of your deck to be puppies and 1 part of your deck to be adults, because your adults only trigger when they're puppies. But I feel like the adults are powerful. There's only like 2 maybe powerful puppies, maybe 3. There needs to be more. That's my thought.
Agreed. It's kind of like the weird way for it's kind of like while racers are trying to get their synergy together, puppies it has the synergy, but it needs
Puppies.
It just it needs the puppies to get
there. It needs
there.
better puppies. That's all I can say. All right, because the adults are plenty powerful. So, all right, let's go and move on to the next one. All right, we have it's Rhino. I like Rhino. He showed me this movie a while back. You want to read this one?
Yeah, sure. So we got Rhino with shift 2. He's a 4/3, 4 inkable, taps for 2, fantastic stats. And while this character has no damage, he gains resist 2.
I like his ability name too.
Epic ball of awesome.
So, what do you think about this one, Spirit?
I think it's very in character with Rhino. I just think even if you're how to put it, just any Amber Steel deck, it doesn't matter what you're running. I think even if it's an Amber Steel song, I just think he's just genuinely a good card for Amber Steel. It doesn't matter what you're running. I feel like he's that niche card where it can just go in any deck and still do damage.
I am a real fan of this one. There is a one drop or 2-drop Amber Rhino that you can shift onto. However, even if you don't shift this Rhino, I think he's decent. Because resist 2 on a 4/3 body that taps for 2 is really, really good. And let's say it does get damaged. Well, you're probably playing Rapunzel. You're probably playing healing cards. Maybe Goofy. All kinds of stuff that can heal. And therefore, you just make him resist 2 again. It's just, I've play tested against this. And in order to kill it, think about this. Foxum, or, sorry, Madam Mim Fox, we call her Foxum, does not kill this. It deals 2 damage. Rhino's still alive.
Yeah, it has to get through his ball of awesomeness.
Has to get through the ball of awesomeness, and I think he's great. So, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think this is just a great card. Again, the super legendaries are just kicking the super rares are kicking
super legendaries.
Well, he is awesome. The super rares are kicking the legendaries' asses.
No, I agree. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's see here. Oh, we got a mediocre one finally. All right, so this is Donald Duck, coin collector. 8-drop inkable, 4/8, taps for 2. For each item named the nephew's piggy bank you have in play, you may pay 2 less to play this character. And then, whenever you play this character, your other characters gain tap, draw a card this turn. The second ability is obviously great. The question is, are you going to want to play the Nephew's Piggy Bank? They're uninkable. I forget exactly what to do. We'll pull it up later. I promise you when we go through the other cards. I know for a fact they're uninkable. You know, let's go pull it up right now.
Okay.
So, let's see.
Piggy bank.
Sorry, I'm going to have to change some filters. Give me a second. But basically, I know for a fact it's uninkable. And, it just, is it worth playing 4 copies to make it cheaper? Where's Nephew's Piggy Bank? Fine, I'll type it in. You know what? Piggy. Alright, here it is. Nephew's Piggy Bank. Alright. So, two uninkable item. If you have a character named Donald Duck and play, you may pay 1 less. Tap it. Choose the character, gets -1 power until the start of your next turn. I personally don't see this. I don't see that item being worth playing. It's uninkable, and yes, it makes Donald cheaper. But again, you don't want to play it around just 1 card. I don't think playing around this Donald's the best idea.
And you know what I have to say about this one specific card?
What?
Sorry, getting my fingers together to animate. See, you're playing Amber, and what does Amber have access to, Waffles?
Shrinking power.
Well, making characters cost less. So
Yes.
why play the piggy bank when you can have docks, when you can have lanterns, where you can have actual cards and characters that make them cost
Yeah,
less?
but also the piggy banks don't do anything besides shrink power, and Amber has that in abundance. And yes, you can, when you play this character, you can tap all your people to draw a card, but by turn 8, how many are you gonna have left? Is it even worth it? Like, this is one of the super rares I'm not a fan of. That's just the honest truth.
No, I'm not a fan of it either. Now, the second ability is fantastic. I don't know if this would be better in an Amber Sapphire build because you have all the puppies or something where you're going to be ramping, so I don't know if this is the home for it. But if someone can figure this one out, but I'm not a fan. Love the artwork though, but if someone can figure out this card, let us know.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and move to the next card. We'll go ahead and go to, my favorite super legendary of the set. Super legendary, said it again. Thanks. Super rare of the set is Hades, Ruthless Tyrant. May I read this one, please?
I get the feeling you wanted to read it without my consent or not.
I asked, though, so may I read it?
I'm surprised you wanted my consent.
Alright, it's a 7-drop uninkable 3/6. Short on patience. When you play this character and whenever he quests, so both, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to draw 2 cards. I've heard people saying that this cost too much, it's uninkable, you don't want to play 4 copies. Well, let me tell you, my friends, I am playing 4 copies of this card because I think it's fantastic. It's a 3/6, got decent booty. In in Amethyst and Ruby, you have lots of ways to move damage. You got Pain, you got Panic, you got Bell, you got Juju, you got all kinds of move damage, you got the new Hades action, and let me tell you, boy am I brewing around this card, and whenever I play him, it's phenomenal. Even if I kill my own shit to draw 2 cards, I will do it.
Waffles is just that crazy, and he's not lying. I've seen the biggest grin on his face when he plays this. And a lot of people are like, it's not going to work. Oh, Waffles is making it work. You know, if you don't want your Hades, send them Waffles' way. He'll take them off your hands.
And here, you know, not everybody knows this. Actually, everyone does. But who cares? He can sing Be Prepared.
Yeah, he's a Be Prepared singer. And he's the Lord of the Underworld, so he's going to take everyone with him.
I am in love with this card. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic card. I don't think I can add on. And also, one of Waffles' favorite things to do is draw cards, and Hades...
Who doesn't like to draw cards?
Hades gotcha, Waffles.
Alrighty. Here, I'll be generous and let you read the next one. Oh, look what you did. Look what you did. Wait for me to click the card first, sir. Alright, here you go.
You spoil me. So, we got Yzma. Love Yzma. Emperor's New Groove is one of those movies that makes me laugh.
We recently rewatched it. It was great.
It's 6 uninkable, 3/6, Yzma on Edge. Just perfect name. Why do we even have that lever? When you
True.
Also taps for 2. I don't know how she can quest while on the edge, but
you know what? She tries.
That's what matters. When you play this character, if you have a card named Pull the Lever in your discard, you may search your deck for a card named Wrong Lever and reveal that card to all players. Put that card into your hand and shuffle your deck.
Before we talk about this, should we show the other two cards?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry everyone once again. I'm going to be typing real quick. Let's type in lever. Here we go. Alright, so first, it mentioned it mentioned pull the lever first.
Well, pull the lever and Wrong Lever.
So pull the lever, action, 3-drop, inkable, choose one. Draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. Not bad, not bad. What do you think, Spirit? Card?
I think it's going to replace Friends on the Other Side when it...
Yeah, when you can no longer sing a 3-drop that draws you 2 cards, you gotta play an action. So, and then we have Wrong Lever. Go ahead, my friend.
So, Wrong Lever, again, just the artwork and everything, big fan of. And choose one, return chosen character to their player's hand. Pretty good effect. And then put a card named to pull the lever from your discard on the bottom of your deck to put chosen character on the bottom of their player's deck.
So this is a potential to put a character under and back to hand.
Which I'm always a fan of, been a fan since Under the Sea. Show the Enchanted while we're here. It was...
You're asking a lot of me, sir. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was
just had to scroll down. Who knew?
Wow.
Wow. All right.
So, I absolutely adore the Enchanted artwork on this one. I think it just, you can hear Yzma scream and Krunk just squirming. Everything about this is like, if I pull an Enchanted, I want it to be this one. All right, and then we need to show...
We got to go back to the Yzma card. So let's go ahead and do that. So get rid of lever. Let's go back and put on the filter for super rare. And we're back. So now that you've seen the other cards, what do you think, Spirit, about Yzma on Edge?
So what I think about this is just you're going to have this synergy. It's interesting how they're making Amethyst Emerald this kind of like discard pseudo tutor kind of type, and it's very specific, so it's not broken what card, but so it's not like just grab whatever card, it's a specific card. So sure, you're gonna pull the lever and Wrong Levers in your deck, but I like it. I think it's very cheeky. I don't know if this is going to be meta breaking, but my god, it's oozing flavor.
Oh, I agree, it's oozing flavor. The only problem I have with it is that, again, it's uninkable, 3/6, and it's a 6-drop. But obviously, if you have pull the lever in your discard, searching for a Wrong Lever is great. But if you have the opposite way, if you have a Wrong Lever in your discard, it doesn't let you tutor for a pull the lever. So,
but we all know, like, this Yzma, say, like, when you play it and you need to get rid of a problematic character, to put a character on the bottom of their player's deck is always a good thing.
That's not what she does. That's what the other card does. The one she tutors does.
No, that's what I'm saying is she gets you that card.
Yeah, if she gets you that card, that's phenomenal, for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have Jafar. 5-drop uninkable 4/4, the High Sultan of Lorcana. Quest for 4, and Dark Power. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character card is discarded this way, you may play that character for free. I think the ability's powerful, but do you really want to be playing that many illusions to make it worth it? I don't know. Is the loot by itself worth it? Not really, because he has to quest. It's not immediately like the Mari. So I feel like this has potential the more illusions are printed. Right now, do I see this being a powerhouse? What about you, Spirit?
I think you really have to commit to illusions to play this one. Now, is he a terrible card? No, not really. It's one of those... I mean, Jafar is not as bad as the legendary giant mouse Mickey in this set, where you have to commit to ways. Now, Jafar, he works with just illusion synergy, but I think that's kind of like if you want to play a theme deck, which is illusions, then yeah, this is the way to go. But the previous Jafar protected your illusions if they were banished. They just go back to your hand.
Why not play both?
I mean, that is a good argument, but artwork is fantastic. We already know that this is the mascot artwork.
This is the set championship promo.
Yeah, so, but for Jafar fans out there, you're probably eating up this set because Jafar is the stuff
everywhere. All right. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes, we should.
Stop typing stuff. Oh my goodness. Look at him ruining our beautiful screen. Now, oh, well,
Well,
there's
yeah,
the
there you
enchanted
go.
artwork. It has the regular artwork right here. Everyone, welcome, welcome. Now go back up to where our screen's supposed to be. And this is another Frozen card. In case you don't know this about me, I am a huge Blurple fan. Been trying to make it work ever since before it was tier 1. But I don't like the fact that Frozen is the main story of its archetype. However, I think it's very fun to play. And this song is bananas. I think this song is very good. What does the song do, Spirit?
So what the song does, Into the Unknown, it's 3 ink bowl, which is very important. You can ink it and sing it pretty cheaply. Put chosen exerted character into their player's ink bowl face down and exerted. Now, one could say, well, let it go, you can choose any character, but the thing about this one is, most of the time, they're gonna be exerting their characters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. It's just if you see a problematic character that doesn't have ward, most likely this card's gonna go off just fine.
Agreed. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. She hits them all. But and even if they aren't exerted, you have ways to exert them. You have Elsa, the 5th spirit, the 5-drop, tap something down. You have Pinocchio's to tap stuff down. There are other ways to force your opponent's stuff to tap. So even if you have to force it to tap, I still think this is a good card.
I mean, even back in the day, we had Freeze and Amethyst.
Well, that didn't tap it down. That just kept it tapped down.
No, true.
Freeze,
True.
I think, just kept it tapped. I don't think it tapped it.
But yeah, I mean,
But Pinocchio from the second set, the 2-drop tapped something down. That got me into the top 8 of our first set championship.
yeah, yeah. So there's definitely ways for Blurple to tap stuff down. It's not asking big. It's just literally a better Let the Storm Rage, or sorry, not Let It Go. But also, you can before rotation, you can play all of them.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this card. So even though it's Frozen, I still like this card a lot. I think it's great. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. We will go to Flynn Rider. Here comes the Smolder. All right, Spirit, if you'd like to.
So Flynn Rider, 4 on Inkable, Taster 3, 1/4. This is a very big day. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player may choose and discard a card. If they don't, you gain 2 lore. It's weird. I love Tangled. I love Flynn Rider, but I'm just really not a fan of this card. It's sure you force them to attack because you tap for so much, but I don't know. It's because he's uninkable. I can only see maybe playing 1 or 2 copies of him. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of him as I am the 2-drop version that makes you discard 1 card. Or I guess it makes you discard if you can't kill it multiple times. This one, I think, has the bonus of having 4 willpower. So they might have to swing into it twice and give you either 4 lore or 2 cards. Or, I mean, they discard 2 cards. So I see that benefit. However, again, a 4-drop uninkable 1/4 can be Sisu, can be Brawled, can be Foxed. It could be so many things. Like, it could just... I like Flynn Rider. I don't like this card. But I'm not an artist, Spirit. Tell me, does he look off to you? He looks off to me.
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring it up. I was going to bring it up if you didn't. He looks off model to me. As someone who works in animation, I don't know if they rendered his cheek a little bit too much. He just looks a little bit off model to me. It's no shade against the artist. I think they did a fantastic job with the foreshortening, the lighting, and everything. It just looks a little bit off model to me, but you can agree to disagree. But like what Waffles brought up in this current meta, with how much removal and especially access to Brawl, I don't think this Flynn is going to stand on its own 2 feet very well.
And just playing a 4-drop uninkable that has so little impact right away. Like, you'll play a 4-drop uninkable Genie Wish Fulfilled because he draws you a card right away, but also he has evasive. This doesn't have evasive. He doesn't immediately make your opponent discard a card. So that's why I'm not
If
the
he
biggest
had
fan.
Ward, it would be better.
Yes, and if he also said when he enters, they may either give you 2 lore or discard a card, then that'd be better too. If it had an end of the battlefield trigger. Alright, we got a Queen of Hearts. And as you may or may not know, I tried to make the shifting Queen of Hearts work last set. Obviously, did not work very well. So, but I like Ruby Emerald kind of going in this damage direction. This is not actually doesn't have to do with damage, but the Alice does. But this is a 4-drop inkable 2/3, taps for 3. And count off. While there are 5 or more other characters with... Oh, no, it does have damage. With damage in play, this character gains +3 lore. So, again, going with the Shifting Queen of Hearts, you got the new Alice, which we'll look at later. And the full damage build going on here. But, again, I don't think Ruby Emerald damage has the best way, because the unfortunate part about it is that all your Emerald damage cards say they have to be damaged already, besides the new Queen of Hearts. There's Teeth and Ambitions, which you can then damage your own character, but red doesn't have just like a deal 3 damage, deal 2 damage. Only Teeth and Ambitions, wait to shoot yourself in the face. And I just don't think there's enough cards yet that can just put damage onto characters. So that's where I think it's lacking.
I agree. And for this card specifically, what I like about it is it's showing what happened to Arcasius Island, turning into more of an Agrabah thing after Jafar got access to the Hexwell Crown. So that's kind of cool. Just me looking at the artwork. Now, is this a game-changing card? Unfortunately, I don't think it is.
And it's a 2/3, very small.
Yeah, I rather play the Queen Monarch that Waffles has played against me multiple times, which, if you can get that engine going, it is very hard to counter.
That's true. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This video is getting a little long. Sorry, everyone. We'll try to,
Okay.
speed up a little bit here.
We're chatting.
We got Go-Go Tamago. Alright, so I kind of like that Emerald Sapphire is kind of going in the Floodborn direction. So I'm kind of a fan of that. Actually quite a big fan. And this one, did you want to read it, Spirit? Or you want me to read it?
Sure, I'll read it.
Okay.
So, Go-Go, 4 uninkable, 3/3, taps for 2. Go-Go Tamago, Cutting Edge, Shift 4, Evasive, and 0 Resistance. When you play this character, if you use Shift to play her, you may put chosen character into their player's inkable face down and exerted, which is just a let it go on a Go-Go, which is fantastic. I think it's a great card. I don't have any qualms, and plus the Go-Go cards, the Emerald one, you're definitely going to play. It's just a fantastic card, so I don't have anything bad to say about this card.
And also there's a new Sapphire Go-Go where if you shift on top of her, you draw a card, so that's always good too. The only problem I see with this card is that Emerald Sapphire is not the best color pairing. But I do like that they're going in a Floodborn direction. I don't know if it has enough to handle like a board that goes wide, but if your opponent's going like big creatures but few of them, I say you can win and go for it. If anyone can make Emerald Sapphire with the Floodborns work, let us know in the comments, because I would love to know how it works. I've tried building it. It's not the best, but I am a fan of this direction we're going.
And before anyone asks, we tried putting Tipo in that giant robot.
We did. Alright, let's move to the next one. Let's see here. What we got here? What we got? Oh boy, this is fun. This is a good one. Alright, Spirit, what do we got here?
Yeah, as Emerald Steel player, Maui, Stubborn Trickster, and I'm going to say this. When this card was revealed, this was not the colors I expected to see Maui in, but I am all the more happy, and this is a fantastic super rare. I'm not finished yet. When this character, oh, by the way, it's a 4/4, still pretty good stats, sinkable, 6 drop, and when this character is banished, choose one. Put 2 damage counters on all opposing characters, so it's a grab your sword or a Bagheera. Banish all opposing items or banish all locations. It's fantastic. It's because it can just it can fit in any Emerald Steel deck. It's just good. It's fantastic removal. The thing that just stops my brain is Maui is Emerald Steel. Say what?
Say what? No, but yeah, I love this card too. I think it's phenomenal. If you're able to banish it when you want it to be banished, then you're going to be able to get the effect you want, whether banishing all items, locations, or grab your sword, all opposing characters. I think it's phenomenal. The fact that it doesn't have rush is probably a good thing, otherwise he'd be very powerful. Too powerful, probably. But the versatility of this card, I love it. Absolutely love it. Big fan.
Yeah, and I just think it's like, say it helps with your removal. Say like, oh, instead of running these 2 uninkable removals, I can run say two Mauis, and it's like sure one could say you have to wait a turn to see him go off or something, as soon as you play him and he's drying or whatever. But even if your opponent removes them through actions or songs or other means, his ability still goes off because he doesn't have to be banished and challenged. That's what makes it even better.
I agree, but then there are scenarios where you're going to want to trigger this ability, but your opponent doesn't give you the opportunity to challenge in and get and banish them. So this will miss sometimes, but I think the upside is so high, and the fact that they have to let you keep questing for 3 before if they want to let you, if they want to stop you from triggering it, you have to quest. You're allowed to quest for 3 every time. I think that's too much to ask of them to keep holding off.
So I absolutely love this card. I just can't say anymore. All right, on to the next.
On to the next. Here we go. Alright, so, Lumiere. Alright, so, 5-drop Inkable. Lumiere, fire it up, 4/3, shift 3, taps for 2. Has evasive. The first artwork that came out said he had ward as well. He does not, and I think that's a good thing. And,
Sacre Bleu.
Sacre Bleu. Whenever one of your items is banished, this character gains +1 power, +1 lore this turn. I see combo shenanigans. And I love it. I like items. I like Ruby Sapphire. I think this card's great. Then there's a new 2-drop that we can show later that if there's an item in your banish zone, then he gains evasive. So therefore, you have a reasonable shift target on 3, because it's a 2 and then this is 3. You have Popsicles you're going to want to play. You have Vital Talispheres. You have a lot of other items you can play and sacrifice to trigger this ability. And I can see this tapping for a lot. What about you, Spirit?
I just find this so interesting that uh they made Beauty and the Beast Ruby Sapphire. I'm a big fan of Beauty and the Beast, and I'm so intrigued that they're making it item based. I want to see how this plays out. I'm hoping it's good in the meta. They made another Lumiere card to shift onto, so another shift target. Um, and it works extremely well with the new bell because you can bring your items back by putting it on the bottom of your deck and gain lore that way. And sure, I guess when launch phases out with rotation, I guess the new beast might be an answer too. So it'll have more synergy. I'm definitely intrigued by this synergy. I hope it's as good as what we imagine it to be, but we've been wrong before.
Yeah, I'm high on this card, but I could also see it just being kind of one of those cards that looks really good on paper, but in practice is not. Only time will tell. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright, so we got Mulan. Mulan, you want to read that one, Spirit?
Yeah, so we got Mulan here, charging ahead for Uninkable, Reckless 3/3. And during your turn, this character gains evasive. And long range, this character can challenge ready characters.
That's pretty good.
I I think it's just great. And I miss Burst of Speed, but it's okay. I think this character is just awesome. It can attack ready characters. That's all you need.
Yeah, I think it's really good as well. Attacking ready characters is always great because there's going to be cards that your opponent will not tap down, like a Prince John. The Muses. This can't kill a Muse, but again, to kill a Prince John, there's other ward targets that they don't want to tap down on purpose. So this is a definite threat to them. Ruby still hasn't really been a major player in competitive, but I think these these Mulan cards that have been printed these last couple sets have been phenomenal.
Now, this is my personal opinion. I think Ruby Steel is like this underdog color is that is absolutely on no one's radar and may actually affect the meta in this set. It's definitely got more support in this set.
The fact that Ruby Steel can attack ready characters, I think, is underappreciated. For example, like if you can have a 4/4 that can attack a ready character, you can kill the Muses. You can kill Prince John. Like I said, there are so many things your opponents don't want to tap down on purpose. And the fact that this can be like, I don't care if it's tapped down or not. Like I'm just gonna swing at it. I think that's phenomenal. However, Ruby Steel does seem like a very challenger-based color. So if your opponent's not playing many characters, playing more of a control build, I could see this struggling a little bit. But against mid-range and aggro decks, I see this shining. So, all right. Want to move on to the next one?
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see here. We got Jasmine. Sorry, Jasmine. Jasmine! Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Sorry. I swear I can speak. If you want to see the regular artwork, it's right here. And then we'll move up to the main screen. Okay, there we go. Jasmine. Jesus, okay. 4-drop inkable, 2/5. She has Shift 2, which I think is good. Always planning. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character card. Put it to your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. I think Sapphire Steel going into an ally strategy, I think, is really fun, actually. I'm a big fan of a lot of the allies that are in those colors. And I like that Jasmine and Aladdin seem to be the payoffs for playing allies. And that's really exciting. And I really want this to work. I really, really do. Do I think it's there yet? Maybe, because Cogsworth and Friends, like the Sapphire Steel Cogsworth decks with a bunch of allies already in it, was doing pretty well. So maybe this will just add to it.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me sad is I was wrong about a prediction of a Robin Hood Shifter and Sapphire Steel, but maybe next set, we don't know. But other than that, love the artwork. I agree with you about the synergy being keyword based on allies gives Sapphire Steel this uniqueness to it. While it is aggro with characters, but it gives you payoffs for specifically playing allies, which is always nice. So I like it. I like this direction Sapphire Steel is going.
Me too. All right, move on to the next. Looks like we have our last super legendary, no, sorry, super rare. I'm gonna give this one to you, Spirit, because you like this movie, and I do too. But I think you love this one.
So we got we got a new song that is 6 uninkable down in New Orleans. And look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a character, item, or location with cost 6 or less and play for free. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. I love the artwork. I love Lewis there in the background. Now, when this card was revealed, it teased me that Lewis was in the background, but what also happened that day, Waffles?
Lewis was revealed, and in case anyone's wondering, Spirit has been dying for a Lewis card and a Charlotte card, and boy, did he get his wish.
Oh, I'm eating well in this set, and we will show them. We will show them, but this card specifically, I think, is actually very good. A majority of cards in your deck are going to be 6 or less, and at least you can look at the top 3 and you can choose. So it's not just a Mufasa and whatever the top is. So I definitely see this having potential, especially in those Ruby Sapphire decks, where they have Maui Sharks to repeat actions or whatever. But in any Sapphire deck, I think this is just a fantastic card.
I'm a little bit different from you there, Spirit. I think this does go really well together with Maui Shark, Ruby Sapphire. However, in other decks that can't bring it back or that can't sing it as easily, you're not playing a bunch of 6-drops, or let's say, if you have to, let's just say this, if you have to cast this for its ink cost, if you have to pay 6 for this, and you hit a 3 or a 4-drop, not worth it. But if you can sing this and recur it, this is phenomenal. I think this fits right into a Maui Shark build, and it's going to do very well. So,
Yep, I guess that's where we stand on the card, but I think we're both fans of it. Would you say that?
I love the card. I just think it shines the brightest with Maui Shark. So.
Yeah, there's no competition there.
All right, let's go ahead and go to some honorable mention rares. We're not going to go through all the rares. The only reason being is that this video is already a little bit long, and we just kind of want to show you our favorites and just talk about which ones we like. So
we're on the honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Okay, I think this lady is very good in a Trinidad deck or an aggro deck. 3-drop, inkable, 2/2, taps for 2. And when you play this character, you may play a character with cost 2 or less for free. Playing stuff for free is always great. What about you, Spirit?
Again, even if you're not playing a Trinidad, let's say you're going aggro with Amber Steel and you just want to get those tiny characters out, there is no setback with this card.
Yeah, play a lady, get a free Mr. Smee. Not bad. Alright, we're going to blitz through these. Let's see. Wait, did I not I must have not deselected super rares.
Oh,
hold on.
My.
Sorry, I'm a genius over here. Alright, so, okay. Spirit, you wanted to talk about this one.
Yes, I do. 3 inkable Amber Steel, 0/4, taps for 4, and none of your powers are working. This character enters play exerted. For 3 inkable, that is pretty good. I mean, if it was 4 inkable, I would say no. But since it costs 3, sure, it comes into play on turn 3, maybe, or turn 2, depending on if you ramped or whatever, or, with a lantern or something. But I think it's going to survive. I really do, unless they have to commit to swinging to it. So you will probably get it off the majority of the time for once.
I'm a little less high on this card because I see a big problem. If Amethyst is a major player in this a format where this sees play, Foxum or Madam M Fox destroys this immediately. I could see the 3-drop Sisu being a major problem, Brawl being a major problem. So maybe after rotation, when Foxum, Brawl, and Sisu leave, this can see play. But right now, if there's a Ruby meta or Amethyst meta, which there normally always is, um, I don't like this card. But other than if those 2 colors are not seeing as much play, or let's say Sisu's not the what you're playing in Ruby, then I can see you playing this.
How dare you? You say no to that face.
I love that face, but I say no to his card. I'm sorry.
It's so mean.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one to talk about. Here you go, Spirit.
Yeah, okay. Now, I understand it's 3 inkable, 1/4, task for 2, bodyguard and singer 4. Well, it's not a singer 5, which kind of like Ariel, but Waffles and I can tell you, we were talking about a bodyguard singer for the longest time. And now that Clawhauser has entered the game, I think it's absolutely perfect.
And we love Zootopia.
Absolutely love that movie. Now, one can argue it's not the best card in the world, but my gosh, I will play my copies of Clawhauser and you will listen to his angelic voice and you will like it.
All right, yeah, I think this card's okay. It's not the best bodyguard singer like we imagined, but we're gonna play him. I agree with Spirit on that one. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. It means no worries. Well, let's look at the original artwork first. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And here's the enchanted. So it means no worries is a 9-drop song, but you sing together. Return up to 3 character cards from your discard to your hand. You may pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn. I think this card has potential. Maybe in like a Trinidad deck to bring stuff back that either you milled or you discarded or you just died. And singing together for 9 can be hard. But you have to remember, in that deck, you're shifting like a tramp that costs 7. So it really helps towards going towards 9. So
I really think this is going to be at home in a Trinidad deck. You're going to have a massive board, so singing together is going to be no problem. I can actually see people maybe running 3 or 2 copies of this in a Trinidad deck. It's just pretty easy to do.
sorry, 1 second, everyone. I'm so sorry.
No worries. But I love the artwork, and while you are doing that thing, I will introduce the next card.
Sounds good.
So the next card we got.
Jiminy Cricket.
Let's talk about. Do you want to introduce this one?
I am a fan of this card. Jiminy Cricket 2. It is inkable 1/1 evasive, which helps. Enough's enough. Taps for 1, and while this character is exerted, opposing characters with rush enter play exerted. So there's some interesting rules questions with these. But I think this card's great. It stops Fox, stops Peter Pan Shadow. And one of the interesting things about this is if you have a Peter Pan Shadow out and you play an evasive character, let's say Genie Wish Fulfilled, that character will enter play exerted because the Peter Pan ability is static and it sees it even in your hand. So it'll enter play exerted. However, there's a Mushu that we'll talk about at some point that when something enters, it's a triggered ability that gives them evasive. Or sorry, that gives them rush. It will not trigger Jiminy Cricket. They'll still be able to attack. It's kind of like whether it's static or triggered is the difference. But I like this card. Rushing is always a problem against certain decks, and this helps solve that.
And also, it's inkable. My gosh, Amethyst has a really good inkable card.
All right. Splits on to the next one. All right, so we got Jiminy Cricket. I'm going to talk about this one because I like this big boy. 8-drop, inkable, 6/8, Monstro, Infamous Whale, Rush, taps for 2. Choose and discard a card. Ready this character. He can't quest for the rest of the turn. This is kind of reminiscent of the the Maui Whale, or what was Maui in that one?
Oh yeah, the Maui
The
whale.
Maui Whale, where you could pay 3 to untap him and he can attack again. Uh, but Amethyst always has a surplus of cards. The fact that you don't have to pay 3, you can just discard a card, and each time you discard it, you can attack again. If this doesn't kill McDuck Manor, discard a card, attack McDuck Manor again. It's got 8 booty, it can hit a lot of things. Like this, I like this card. I know Spirit's not as high on this one, but I like this one. What do you think, Spirit?
We've been playing this in practice, and hint, hint, we've been kind of play testing this in one of the deck ideas we've been working with. Waffles and I may disagree about it, but I'm not disagreeing with this sound in theory. It's just I haven't been able to get it off. Maybe Waffles has and I haven't, but I think it's definitely a really good card, especially, again, it's nice to see that Amethyst is getting good inkable cards.
Which is always nice, because Amethyst always has an uninkable problem. Alright, let's keep moving on. Let's see. It's fine. I want to talk about this one.
Okay.
So this is a card where I mentioned I'm happy that Emerald Sapphire is going a Floodborn route. This obviously sees play in that deck. It has shift. It's a 7-drop inkable, 5/6, taps for 3, shift 5, and I like where this is heading, which I do. I like where Emerald Sapphire is heading. Whenever this character quests, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a Floodborn character. Put that card into your hand. Shuffle the rest into your deck. I think this is a very powerful ability. However, once again, I don't know whether Baja Blast, as they call it, has enough potential yet, but it's gonna get there, and I'm excited to see where it's going. So, all right, let's see here. This one.
Mhm.
All right, Spirit, go ahead and tell us. Emerald Steel expert over here.
All right, so we got Captain Hook, Pirate King. Move over, Luffy. We got a shift 3, 4, 5, 5 inkable, and once during your turn, whenever an opposing character is damaged, your pirate characters get +2 strength and gain resist to this turn. Well, I definitely believe Emerald Steel Pirates is definitely going to see its day. In Arcasius Island, we got hints and a little bit of support, but in Reign of Jafar, Emerald Steel Pirates are just ramping up. I can definitely see this impacting the meta.
I could also see this in a non-pirate deck. They reprinted the 1-drop Captain Hook from the first set in this set, so therefore it'll be there even after rotation. And shift 3 on a 4/5 that if it's damaged once gains resist +2 it's not bad at all.
Yeah, just damage an opposing character and all your stuff gets buffed. Yes, please.
Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next card. Oh yeah. Here's the Mushu that we talked about. This one is a 6-drop inkable, 4/6, shift 4. All fired up. Whenever you play another character, they gain Rush, Reckless, and Evasive this turn. So this is an example of the triggered ability against Jiminy Cricket. If Jiminy Cricket were tapped, and I play a character, this triggers, and then the character gains Rush. It's not like Peter Pan where they enter with Rush. So therefore, this could attack Jiminy Cricket if you play something else. Once again, I love the Mulan cards. Love where Ruby Steel is going. I think it's an underdog, and I agree with Spirit that I think it may just surprise people. So
Agreed, and always love seeing Mushu.
Mushu's fantastic. We waited a long time for this fella. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Sorry, it keeps loading to the top of the page, fellas. Yep. So this one's pretty simple. 3-drop uninkable 5/5, Prince John. Frady Cat. Help, help! Whenever an opponent plays a character, deal 1 damage to this character. This works really well with the new Tinkerbell, for example.
Yeah, and also seeing Prince John and Ruby is very interesting. He was in Sapphire, but this is just a good card in general.
Yeah, and I think it's also a good card in Amethyst Ruby if you're moving damage, is always nice. But it's just a 3-drop 5/5 is phenomenal. So.
Yep, and I always love seeing some Robin Hood representation.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move to the next card. Let's see. Alright, a little Brother Bear action spirit. Take us away.
Another Sing Together song, 8 inkable, so pretty good that it's inkable. And ready all your characters for the rest of the turn. They take no damage from challenges and can't quest.
So you can just basically sing together and then untap everyone, and then you can challenge with no fear. Like, seems pretty good. Seems like you could take advantage of that. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this card. Hopefully you have, like, some high cost characters, so you don't have to sync with everyone, so you can quest the untap challenge. That'd be the ideal scenario. But
I think this is going to do fantastic in Ruby Steel decks. Like this is the card they needed because Ruby Steel's all about challenging, and this card's like challenge away, challenge away.
that's true. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next card. I do like Brother Variegated some cards. Spirit still needs to show me that one though, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, we talked
about Nani. All right.
Just an honorable mention.
And as you can see, there's her sandcastle, Jafar's palace, and Lilo's right there. So that's what it is. This card, however, not much. I'm not a huge fan of it. Basically, give someone else resist, and your characters gain Lilo gain support. Not great. What do you think? Anything to say, Spirit?
Nah.
All right, well, simple enough. Move on to the next one. Obviously, I think Vinny has potential. 3-drop uninkable 1/4 learning experience. During the opponent's turn, whenever one of your other characters is banished, you gain a lore. So play a go wide board. Someone be prepared or Sisu's. Everyone excluding this guy, you'll gain a lore for that died. So this is good protection against the board wipe, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Good one syllable word, Spirit. I'm a fan. Alright. We're on the last row. Let's see. Okay, this is one I want to talk about. Oh, well, let's show you the original artwork. It's called Desperate Plan, and it is a 3-drop uninkable action, not a song, just an action. If you have no cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in hand. Otherwise, choose and discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. So, ideally, you would want to use this either at 0 cards or when you want to filter a whole bunch of cards from your hand, because the worst case scenario for this is if you have 1 card in hand or 2, because then you could discard 1 or 2 and only draw 1 or 2. But the more cards you can either loot or the more cards you can draw because you're empty-handed is phenomenal. I think this card's great.
I think it's fantastic. Now we've seen a lot of cards that are specifically in Reign of Jafar about looting, and I can say I'm eating up. I like looting.
We love it. All right.
Should we move on to the next one?
I agree. All right. That was the last rare I want to talk about.
Right.
So I know there's for sure one uncommon we wanted to mention.
Oh,
I think Spirit knows which one I'm talking about here. I want to talk about this one, Candy Drift. Now, I know we said racers are not the best right now. However, in a Ruby Fossa list or a Ruby Amber aggro list, I think this card is great. Pay 2, draw a card. Chosen characters of yours gets +5 power this turn, and at the end of the turn, you banish them. Yes, you sacrifice a creature, but in Ruby Amber, early game, like you're having like some 1/1s, maybe 2 or 3 power at most, you can't kill that big guy over there. But wait, Candy Drift, now you're a giant-ass character, and you're probably going to die in the trade anyways, so this is really good. I love this card.
Plus you draw.
Yeah, so great. Alright, simple as that. Let me know if you see one, Spirit.
Let's see. I'd keep scrolling down. We covered.
I see something. I sees it.
I need a full set of this, boy. So when they revealed down in New Orleans, and then Lewis got revealed, I was squealing. Finally, it took 8 sets, but here is our boy. He's 3 inkable. Lewis, endearing alligator. Sensitive Soul. He's a 4/3, by the way. Taps for 1. This character enters play exerted, and then friendlier than he looks. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. Now, I think this is a fantastic card, because yes, he comes in exerted.
That helps.
But you give someone Reckless, so they're forced to swing into it. He's great removal. He's kind of like the reverse Madam Mim Fox, where if you have a problem with a character that it's like, I need this gone, Lewis is just like, come on over, with that big smile of his.
Yeah, basically he's welcoming you into his maw, basically. I think this card's good. Ideally, you'd want to play this and have him be the only exerted character, so they're forced to swing into a 4-power body, which will destroy most things. I think this card's better than people assume, and I'm excited to play him. So,
same. I need a full set.
Alright, let's move on to the next one. We do have to hurry. Unfortunately, I have something I have to do. So let's work our way through this stuff. Let's see here.
I guess a shout out to Don Carnage at the
Don
top.
Carnage is great, yeah, but I don't like playing pirates with non-song actions
Yeah,
because I
but
just hate non-songs.
let's talk about this
Let's talk
one.
about this one.
Yeah, I knew you
I'm
were gonna
trying.
scroll into
Light
it.
the fuse. One uninkable action. Deal one damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. Again, Ruby Seal wants to challenge. They're going to be exerted. And just to let you know, this is not one damage multiple times. So resist one does not resist it. It will resist it by one, but it's kind of like Strength of a Raging Fire. One lump sum for how many exerted characters you have. You blast it
So
at
if
an
you have
opponent.
3 exerted, it's gonna do
3 damage to a character. Yep. All right. Cool. Move on to the. Oh, sorry. Next one. Uh, oh, yes. A new fan favorite, or maybe people are upset about it, but Spirit, why don't you read us this one?
yeah. So Beyond the Horizon is a sing together. Uh, for 7, choose any number of players. They discard their hands and draw 3 cards each. I love it. I absolutely love it. If say you're playing against an Amethyst player or a Ruby Sapphire player that has a humongous hand, and you're just like, or an Emerald player, you're just like, no.
So basically, I think this solves some of the deck's problems that wanted to play Who New World but didn't want to give their opponent 7 cards. I think this is phenomenal because first of all, it's not a Singer 5; it's Sing Together. You could have a 3 and a 4. Uh, like Spirit said, if you're playing against an Amethyst opponent with like 7 or 8 cards in hand, you play this, basically make them discard, draw 3. If your opponent has 2 or 3 or fewer cards, you can say no to them and only you draw 3. I think this card is phenomenal. You get to choose whether you give your opponent 3 cards and discard or give them nothing. It's up to you. And that fixes the whole problem with Whole New World, I feel like.
I'm just amazed this is an uncommon card.
I think this card's great. I'm a huge, huge fan. All right, and I think basically that's mostly it. There's a one card I wanted to give a shout out to, Arthur, 4-drop, 6/6.
Oh no, there's one common card we need to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go down. Basically, Arthur's a 4-drop, 6/6, taps for 3. However, you skip your turn's draw steps, so it's huge, but there's a big downside. You said there's a common, my friend?
Yep.
What color?
It's in
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
we have
Wait,
to end it.
I understand it. We're ending on Charlotte. All right, go ahead, Spirit.
You were gonna leave out best girl. Charlotte LaBeouf, Mardi Gras Princess. 1-drop, 1/3, inkable. It's one of those. We always have those 1/3 colors or
Cards.
character in each color. I love it. I also find it hilarious that they gave her the princess keyword
That is
because
funny.
it is the Mardi Gras, but I love it. I don't care if she is not the best. I love the artwork. I'm gonna play best girl, and you can't stop me.
Back into the fray is what she says, right? Pulls up her dress and
Yeah,
back into the fray.
Back into the fray.
She's great. Like when I first saw this movie, I didn't know what to expect, and she was hysterically funny. I loved her character. I love Lewis, and like I think this movie is an undervalued movie, and I think if you watch it, you'll love her. You'll love everybody. It's just a phenomenal movie. So
Yep, and I have to say, I'm happy. I'm happy this set. I had to wait 8 sets for the whole gang to get together, but here we are. I don't know if there's any other comments you want to talk about, but
No, I
this
think
was
that's
the
it.
one I was like, this is the common. I am absolutely like, I need a full set. Thank God it's common.
No, I think that's about it. And sorry everyone, but we do have to get running. We hope you enjoyed watching our video. If you think we got some of these cards wrong, definitely let us know. We'll try to make a video in like a month or two and let you know if we were totally wrong about this stuff.
Yeah,
or
like
we'll,
our cards we were totally wrong about.
But I think we had a great time doing this. Hopefully you enjoy it as well. If there's anything we can do better, anything you'd like to see, let us know. But yeah, once again, we're the Upkeep. I'm Waffles together with
Spirit, and let us know what cards you're excited for in this set as well.
Definitely, please do. We'd love to chat with everyone, and if you leave a comment, we'll try our best to get back to you. So, bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.